Coming up today, I asked the team 5 big questions about predictions for 2026.
Question number 1. Will Rusty and Justin, will a next-gen player?
But before we get into that, we'll also preview the Junior Nationals, the Heyball World Cup, and I asked the team, what's your plans for Q Sports for 2026?
First of all, the National Juniors is on right now. Now, Mark, I don't know if you ever played in the National Juniors when you were younger. Maybe you did too, Jamie, but I've never been to a National Juniors. Yeah, right.
Not me. I didn't play until I was 16, so.
Yeah, okay. We must have started about the same time. I played when I was 17. But I was trying to see how the format works. So it looks like the team has a mixture of players from all different age groups. And in a match, I don't know if they pair up the under-12s and the under-15s and under-18s.
Yeah.
Have you got any insight?
Last I heard, it's really changed a lot. I think there's a lot more of everyone playing everyone, but I actually, I've lost track a little bit of what's happened with the junior nationals lately. It used to be just under-12s played against each other, under-15s and under-18s.
You might have answered part of my question because I saw on the schedule I can see under-12s, under-15s and under-18s, but I can't see any other age groups. But then I see Sean Dempsey's the captain of Victoria and he's not in any of those age groups.
Because if it's the junior nationals, you'd think that stops at under-18s. Junior.
But why is Sean Dempsey there as the captain then?
Because he loves pool. He's got to be involved in everything. He is Victoria's golden child. He's probably like if I was to guess, I would say that maybe he's like a non-playing captain kind of thing, a bit of a leadership role. That would be a
team manager type role. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be a guess.
He wouldn't be playing, surely.
Maybe there's something for him to play in, or I'm not too sure. Maybe Paul Vic covers his expenses to be there as a, one of their reps or whatever. I actually don't know at all.
I'll tell you what's concerning for me is I had no idea they were even on.
Yeah, that's what's concerning for me as well.
That sort of rings alarm bells in my head because if you've got two players that have played the game for a long, long time, don't even know the juniors are on, where are they promoting it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was on. How long has it been going for? Has it already been going for 3 days, 2 days? Just started? What's happened?
The opening ceremony was yesterday. And the first matches. So today is day 2 of proper competition. And it goes for basically another week. Another 6 days.
Goes for too long, in my opinion. So my boys have been playing a little bit of pool. My 11-year-old has made the last 2 under-12 teams, and my 9-year-old has made one of the teams as well. And I was interested to take them to nationals. They need more experience and stuff to really sink their teeth into that. But I thought, this would be, good. And I found out that it goes for just as long as the Open Nationals. It's basically 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh my God, like it goes for too long. What families can really make that commitment? I'm sure there's some out there, but Jesus, there's not many. How many families that can really commit for a 2-week stretch? Like when I played in junior events, I traveled to many different states and stuff, played in junior events, and it would go for, like a handful of days. I just don't understand why it needs to go for almost 2 weeks. I might be wrong. Maybe someone's going to correct me and then go, Mark, it actually goes for 3 days.
Especially just after Christmas. Pretty much most people are going on holidays.
Yeah, it's 9 days. So it started on Tuesday. Tuesday was bump in and you could practice, but you needed to be there at 9 a.m. Wednesday morning for the opening ceremony. So you basically got to arrive on Tuesday.
So if it goes for 9 days, so call it a day before and a day at the end, so 11 days. Yeah, that's crazy. That's madness. If the 3 of us were to come up with a tournament and we've got 9 days to come up with something, we're coming up with something pretty epic. Like what are they doing up there for 9 days? Like how many frames of pool are they getting in? Like, how many juniors are missing out? Because, like, obviously I come from a esports family and my boys play and they're okay. But we didn't go because it's just too long.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's two events. There's a teams event and a singles event. And then, of course, in the middle, they're having a 6 red challenge.
They got to get rid of that. I get the novelty, but just get rid of that stuff. That's when Paul brought it in as a match decider for equal scores at the end of a time. But that's where it should end. It doesn't need to be a separate event.
I don't mind something like that.
I hope they can in the open.
Like they used to have, instead of the plate, they had like a pre-tournament event. So if you were there a couple of days early, there was a knockout you could go and play in, but it wasn't part of the Nationals mainstream. They could do that. They could run something a day before or 2 days before. And if people wanted to go early, they could compete in it, but you didn't have to be there for it. That went, then the time commitment's not as real. Anyway, look, good luck to all of the juniors. It's great that it is happening. I saw it on the ABF Facebook page. Just a couple of updates and the schedule. That's where I got the schedule from. But good luck to all of the juniors competing over the next week and a bit.
Yeah, it'd be good to see them sort of try and stream some stuff on Facebook or something like that. Just show a few matches, or are they allowed to because they're juniors, or some sort of streaming?
That's a good question. I believe I've seen in the same way that they had the ABF Live page set up for the senior nationals, they still have that as well. So if teams want to stream, they can stream through that page. I don't know if there are. I haven't considered the issue about all of the kids. I presume that they would need consent from all of the parents to be able to put that stuff out live, or maybe they just have a policy about whether to do it or not. But yeah, I'd certainly love to see some of it. I'd love to see the juniors coming up through the ranks. So I'd love to see some of those matches. I've seen some people put clips out on Facebook, just short clips already. But yeah, hopefully we get to see more about that and hear more about that.
It'd be good to sort of just see the skills and stuff on display. Like I've actually got no idea of the standard. The last juniors I know that sort of come through, Toby Clack, Jack Green, Dempsey, Joseph Evans, just the usual names that most people would know. But I don't know who they've been competing against, and, Joshua Hands and stuff, like great upcoming players. But what's happening?
What's next?
I'd like to flick it on and see, a 14-year-old kid from Darwin, Northern Territory, playing against a 14-year-old kid from Tassie in the semi-finals. It'd be nice just to flick it on and watch a couple of games and just to see, like, where are they at? How are they competing? Are they being ferocious out there, or are they just goofing around? Or I have no idea. It'd be good to see. There's probably kids out there that are amazing, but maybe they can't afford or have the time to travel interstate and playing some of the things that we might see them in. But we just don't. They're just all just unheard of.
Now, the other thing that's on starting tomorrow, I believe, is the Heyball World Cup. Here we go. So the Heyball World Cup. It's happening beginning tomorrow. Let me tell you a little bit. These are the Australian teams. So those were selected teams by the Australian Pool Players Association based on current Heyball rankings, basically. So there's a men's and a women's draw. In the men's team, Jake McCartney is the captain with Vinny Calabrese and Justin Saich. And the women's team, Lyndall Vine is the captain with Lily Meldrum and Ben Hung. A couple of great teams there. Now, let me tell you how this works. In each section, there's 32 teams.
Wow.
We start with a round robin stage. They're split into 8 groups of 4. You play a round robin against the other 3 teams, and the top 2 teams from each group advance to a last 16, and then it's a straight knockout. A match is made up of 4 sets. The winner of the match is the first team to win 3 sets. Set number 1 is the number 1 singles player from each team playing against each other in a race to 3, short, sharp race. Set number 2 is the number 2 singles player from each team in a race to 3. The third set is a Scotch doubles. in a race to 3. And if needed, set number 4 is another singles match, which is the captain's choice. And the captain can choose in that moment who they want to play that match. So they can see the match play out before they decide.
What? So why is there 3 people in the team if the third
Yeah,
player doesn't
what
get to
happens
play
to the
singles?
third player?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible that you can play a match with just 2 players.
Stupid
That's
format.
crazy.
Why not just have why go 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, and then a Scotch doubles? Why not just do crazy thought 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3?
and then a Scotch doubles. Yeah,
Because I'm telling you what should happen is Jake should play, Justin should play, and then Jake and Justin should play in the Scotch doubles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like Vinny's great, but I've seen them. He's not at their level. It's just madness.
Yeah. Jake and Justin are clearly the 2 strongest players in the country.
That's a
by
weird
a mile. One. So yes, I agree with that format. Yeah, I don't know if there's any constraints. I don't know if you must play all 3 players. And when I say number 1 singles, number 2 singles, like you can change that lineup in any given match. So Mark, if we were in match 1, you could name yourself as 1 and Jamie at 2 and me at 3. And then in the next match, you could flip that around and say, oh, I'll go in at 1 and Marty at 2 and Jamie at 3. Like that, you can change the format every single match. That lineup is just kept confidential until both teams have submitted the lineups.
Yeah, I imagine Jake, probably starts him and Justin 1 or 2, and if Justin or Jake don't perform, Jake will bring in Vinny for one of them, absolutely. But I just don't understand why you've got a 3-man team where one of the players might not even participate at all.
And the other thing that you said, did you say, if required, there's another Scotch doubles? But how can it be required?
There's another singles. Because it's the first team to win 3 sets. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you got to win 3 sets. So it could be 3-0 or 2-1 or whatever, and then you've got to play the fourth.
Correct. Now, weirdly, I think in the round robin match, if it's 2-2, you don't decide the match. You just get to the end of the round robin stage, and then the top 2 teams go through, and there's fallback procedures to say, most matches won, most frames won, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there is a tie-break mechanism, which is true in the last 16 as well, which in the event of a tied match, a single deciding frame, 1 frame Scotch doubles happens. So once you get to the last 16, if it's 2-2, you can repick your doubles and you play 1 frame of Scotch doubles.
Clearly, they've brought in engineers to come up with this format. Play 3 singles, and then if you need the Scotch doubles, you play it. It's so easy. Everyone's involved.
I do like having Scotch doubles in the main format. I don't mind.
I like Scotch doubles. Scotch doubles is great. It's fun to play and it's fun to watch.
Yeah. But use it as the decider if you need, if you've got 3 singles, which makes sense, you've got 3 people, they should all play, right? And it's 2-1, then you play the Scotch doubles with the 2 people you want. If it's 3-0, then you just don't play the Scotch doubles. It's a crazy format. This makes no sense at all.
And why
it'll be interesting to watch. We'll see how it goes.
Why such short races? I don't understand why the races
round robin,
so
32
short.
teams. That's a lot.
So you just run it for an extra day and extend the races by 25%. Maybe race of 4 or 5 or something.
But
the juniors,
I think that
the juniors go for a month, and the Heyball World Cup goes for 1.5 days, where 33% of the team might not even hit a ball.
How long does this go for?
Yeah, so National Juniors 9 days for National Juniors. Heyball World Cup 4 days.
Yeah, it's crazy. Is this a prize money thing? Has insane prize money like the rest of their stuff?
Yeah, yes. So let me give you the breakdown in the prize money. If
this is going to be ridiculous, I can already tell. It's going to be like $250,000 US in total or something.
If you just get, it is a big number. If if you just lose all your matches, you come last in your round robin group and you're straight out of the tournament. $6,600 for your team.
So you just got to turn up and you get money.
You turn up and you get money. Yeah. I'll go to the other end of the scale now. The winning team, $75,000. 36,000 to the runner-up. This is US dollars too, by the way. 24,000 in the semis, 15,000 in the quarters. Pretty significant coin.
I'm sorry. I'm still getting past the you just have to turn up and you get free money part. How do I get selected for this?
Well, I believe you have to be in the. I believe what happened is it was the top 2 ranked players. So that was Jake.
Teddy's going to come up with a better format right now, aren't you, Teddy? You're going to come up with a better format.
So I believe Jake was the captain. I don't know. I think Vinny might have been second in the rankings, so he got in. And then the captain gets to choose the third player. That's my understanding of how it works. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what happened.
Wasn't there all this controversy around Justin at one point, and he was out, and now he's in, and all this sort of stuff?
Correct. Yes, there was. There was a temporary suspension in place for Justin, and he missed an event, and then it got resolved somehow, and he became available for selection for this event. But he did miss an event. Yeah.
Well, good luck to all them guys.
Good luck to both teams. Yeah, I haven't yet managed to get through all of the teams to see who I thought was favourite. I know the English team is very strong. I believe it's Gareth Potts, Jack Whelan, and a third player who escapes my mind right now. But like, there's 2 very good players straight off the bat. You would think that they would have to be race to 3. Yeah, that's right. Anyone can win.
Yeah,
in a race to 3.
Your favourites, they're going to under the pump straight away. Like on a good couple of days, I think Jake, Vinny, and Justin, they could do some damage. I wouldn't be surprised if they win it. They're not.
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree.
They'll be one of the mid-range teams, I would imagine. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we're doing another podcast and they've won.
Have they got a list anywhere of all the teams and who's in them and all that sort of stuff? Or I mean, chances are there's a bunch of countries who don't even know who the players are, but it'd still be interesting to see. Don't have to bring it up now, but maybe look at that later.
Yeah, you can go and find it. Here's what I was trying to find. There's an athlete's guide. I was trying to find the teams at least for you that were involved.
So the women's as well. So they've got the same prize money. What's the go there?
I believe so. I believe the prize money is the same. Yep.
Wow.
Same payout structure for both men's and women's competitions.
Well,
it's a good blended for the women's team. I haven't seen Bing play on the Chinese 8-ball tables, but on the American tables, she can beat any guy in the country. She's fantastic.
Very good player,
seems to be playing in all the Q sports. Very good. I don't know if it's a rankings or a choice there, but it's good to have someone younger as well playing. And Lyndall's been playing in everything for a long time. Resume better than anyone's. So I'd be very interested to see how the women's team go as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they're actually more favourites than the boys.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a strong women's team, that one. I think
give you some of
very interested to see Beans, but I'd be very interested to see Bean play because it wouldn't surprise me if she's right up there with as far as like top females in the world. Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's a very different game to 9-ball. I understand the pattern plays similar, but when there's traffic involved, it's a lot different. I mean, you got to remember Bean did come down and play in the women's big guns and really didn't put much of a show on. So this is a similar game, just bigger table. Obviously, the rule set's changed.
You get skill checked a lot in 8-ball, and I think she'll do all right there. But we'll see.
Skill checked, I agree.
Yeah, there is a lot of countries on the list that I just don't recognise as countries that have strong Q Sports players, but I could be completely wrong. I'll try and give you some examples. Kenya, Namibia, Iran, Mexico, Chile, Poland, Slovenia, Sweden, Portugal, Lithuania, Norway. Like there's a lot of countries in there that, I don't see them. I don't see a lot of the 9-ball, to be fair. So I know a lot of the like Malaysia and Philippines have some very strong 9-ball players. I don't know if they play a lot of snooker or Chinese 8-ball over there, but they certainly have some good cueists in amongst it. So I kind of agree with Mark's sentiment here. I don't think Australia is going to be a favourite by any stretch, but I also don't think they're down the bottom. They're going to be at least kind of in the middle somewhere. And if you are in the middle somewhere, I think race to threes. Like anyone can beat anyone, really.
Yeah,
I think the format's good for the Australian teams. I think that obviously the shorter the race, the better. Shorter race are better for the underdogs, and they're not so much underdogs that the races help them, but there'll be other countries where the format can't help them at all. They're too far off the pace. Whereas I think those two Australian teams that we see right there, I think they'll be competitive enough that on a good day they can do some damage.
I believe that the 8 groups of 4 are random. So notwithstanding that there might be a crazy strong group, I think both teams would be disappointed to not get through that stage. And then it kind of depends who you play, right? But you're in the last 16, you're one win away from the last 8. Anything can happen.
I think the way they've done it in the tournament that I played in may have been better. The problem, what I don't like about the round robin format is you're going to have some teams that lose their first couple of matches that can't make it through, and then funny stuff can happen. The tournament that I played in, you would have a group of 8, and then if you win, you go one step further, and then if you win, then you're in the top 2 no matter what. And if you lose, it's just a double elimination format, an 8-player double elimination format. I would rather see that than a 8 group round robin where other matches are going to heavily influence what happens and doesn't happen. I think it just leaves the tournament open.
Shifty business.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a better politically, way to put it, but shifty business.
Manipulation.
Someone's going to miss a ball they shouldn't, and then someone's going to cross-check the scores and everything and go dodgy bodgy.
Even if it's not deliberate, it can just be like, lack of care sets in.
Yeah, exactly.
Apathy sets in because you're 2 matches down and you've lost the first set and you're like, it's too late. And it affects the outcome of the final match. Even if it's not deliberate, it affects the outcome.
Yeah. If you're playing a team that hasn't won a match and you're playing them last and you need to win to get through, they can be a nightmare to play against. They can't get through. All of a sudden, all the pressure has gone off them, more pressure on you, and they start throwing the cue around, and all of a sudden they just start potting everything. Like it's, I just don't like anything about the format. I just got to say it. I just don't get it.
So here's what blows my mind with Heyball, right? The number one thing they need to change straight away is the balls. If you want this to be better to view, you've got to get separate, not all the multicolors like the old school balls that we used to use in the pubs and stuff, and the numbers. You've got to just go reds, yellows, whatever colors, but just they need to be distinguishable on a phone. Because let's face it, so many people watch this stuff on their phones these days. If you want to try and get into it and enjoy it, if you're a pool player, you're trying to map the game yourself, you just can't do it. You cannot see what's what, and it does my head in, and I just end up turning it off. So I think they're doing themselves a big injustice by using those types of balls. The second thing that I can't fathom is they are throwing an astronomical amount of prize money out there and all that sort of stuff. Where the hell is the advertising and the marketing for this? Even just make a TV ad, right? all you got to do is obviously dub it in different languages and get it on TV. Get it out to the world. Like, nobody knows this is on, except if you're looking
No.
for it. But if you're trying to engage the greater public, you got no idea. And like, you'll watch one of the matches, because I've tried to watch them, watch Jake play a few and stuff. I have so much trouble enjoying it, and it's clearly a good game, but obviously no commentary, it makes it harder to enjoy. But the balls, so you can't kind of, as a knowledgeable pool player, you can't map the game yourself and try and understand it better. And if you look at the crowd, they've got all this seating. There's no one there, not a person. So there's so much they could be doing to increase their footprint. And I just think they've thought, you know what, we're going to throw millions of dollars at this and they will come. And to a degree, 100% they are. But what about everybody else? You need to get the public interested in wanting to watch this. Otherwise, it's all for nothing. And if this doesn't make the Olympics, and we'll touch on this later because this is one of the things I'm going to throw out there for 2026. If this doesn't make the Olympics, you watch this completely disappear around the world. It might stay in China and a few other countries, but I can promise you it will just, all this money will not be there, because that's what this push is really for. So if you're gonna make this big push, where's your marketing? That's the most important part in the end, isn't it? Just blows my mind.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure that they are appealing to their online market, especially back in China, because that's where the money's all coming from. They'll be streaming back to them. I don't know if they tried to market to the locals. I believe it's in Queensland. I don't know if they tried to market to the locals to get the crowd in, but certainly I haven't seen anything. Like, we're all in the pool community. We pay attention to the pool community. And apart from the actual World Heyball Tour channel on Facebook, I haven't seen any advertising thrown at me. I haven't even seen packages or offers on that Facebook channel in particular to say, hey, if you wanted to come and stay, here's a ticket and some accommodation. I haven't seen any of that. I genuinely hope it goes well. Like, I would love to kind of see it go well, and I would love to see it come to the Olympics. And like you said, we'll talk about that later. But I agree. You're absolutely right, Jamie. Like, there's very little marketing.
If you make the stateside this year, right? Let's just say you try out and you make the stateside this year, and you go to one of the mainstream networks, Channel 9, whatever, and go, hey, I've just made the stateside. Do you want to cover it? Do you want to do a news piece on it? They will be out there like a bullet. They are news networks are screaming for sport other than football and, all cricket and all this stuff. They want something else, and they're always looking for stuff to cover. Why these guys haven't gone to the major news networks and gone, hey, we're doing this massive event. It's worth, $250,000 total in prize money, which is a ridiculous amount of money, never ever seen in Australian Q sports. They'll be there. They will cover it, and they'll do an article on it pre-match. They'll probably send camera people out there during it as well to do some live coverage and some up-to-date coverage, and they'll even probably do a wrap-up. They'll do as much as you like, because news networks, they want to do this stuff. I just can't believe they're not doing it. I just don't think they've got anyone in Australia that really is pushing this, or other countries, or someone that's a world media person who just has to make some phone calls and get things rolling. Hell, if you're paying for the job, here I am. I'll make all that happen. Easy. It's not a hard job. Just got to make it happen.
Well, let's blow our own trumpet a little bit here. We are the biggest Q Sports media channel in the country. Haven't had a message.
Yeah,
nice
there you
one.
go.
Yeah,
Just
and
blows
I
my
would
mind. It really
happily
does.
put information up. Yeah.
First
All
time
right.
I've ever heard you brag. Marty, hello.
Humble brag occasionally, mate. Part of the reason that I'm doing this and that we're doing this is to promote Q Sports in Australia and around the world. But, we're all from Australia. Like, we want to see Q Sports grow here. Like, I'd love to be telling more about this, but I've got to go digging to find this information and kind of pull it out. Like, it doesn't come to me. And I genuinely hope that changes. Like, World Heyball Tour, get in touch. We want to tell the story about your events. and what's coming up and get people there. Like, let us know. We want to help. All right. And good luck to those Australian teams in the World Heyball Cup too. We're cheering you on.
All the best.
Yeah, hopefully we get to watch some of it. It'd be great.
Q Sports plan for the 2026 year. 8 doubles, singles, Geelong or Albury coming up.
Yeah, playing in all them. I'm actually playing. Yeah, I do actually want to put in a little bit of an effort this year with Q Sports. I don't feel like I've put in an effort with Q Sports for quite a while. It actually does bother me that I haven't won a one of these, a big guns or something like that. Unfortunately, I lost to Mick in 2 finals, and he's pretty hard to beat. But I haven't actually won one. I've gone in King's Cup a few times, haven't won it. I've played in a Kill Crossover once, haven't won it. I want to put an effort in. I want to do well while I still can. And I think I enjoy it more than what I realize. And I've got the Chinese able table at home, so that's a very, very good form of practice. The state doubles, can't play with Mick. He's busy fishing, so I'm playing that with Gus, so that'll be good. Really looking forward to that. The state singles, I've not actually won that for a very long time. I don't know how long, but I feel like it's been a while. Geelong defending champs, so that'll be fun. Bree lost in the semis last year to Gus, so I want to try and get that one. And playing in the Joy Bell, the Joy tournament.
The Mildura one, yet.
Remember what it's actually officially called, that match, that tournament. I'm going up there, going to travel up with Gus, the Joy Cup. Joy Bell Cup, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Haven't played in that yet. I've only heard fantastic things about that tournament and the venue and everything, so I'm actually going to drive up with young Gussie and Logan, so that'll be good. There's the bigger events. I think Nationals is on in Queensland. I'd actually like to play, go up there with the family, so I plan on trying out for the Vic team and going up. There's any Chinese 8-ball events that are suitable for me to go in. I'd like to play in some of them. And there'll be a few other 8-ball things coming around. I'm keen on playing some money matches as well. Yeah. That's
Can I ask
plan so far,
a general question? This is for all of you, really. Like it's the start of the year. It's January. The calendars have just kind of come out for Pool Victoria and for the Australian Nationals, and we kind of know where the other big tournaments are as well. Do you guys all like to plan? Do you plan out your year? Do you figure out, like Mark, you've rattled off a bunch there already. Like, are you figuring out which tournaments you're going to go in now for the whole year? And then, if so, around that, are you saying, okay, there's a gap of a few months here, I can try and slot in a couple of money matches? Are you thinking about those sorts of things, about your preparation for any of those things? Or is it more just wing it, and when it's time to get your entry in, you'll see if you're free that weekend?
Yeah, there's a few tournaments that I really look forward to. I really look forward to the state doubles and Geelong. I just think they're great tournaments. I've always enjoyed playing in them, so I want to play well in those. The state singles, I play in it because it's there, but I actually prefer the doubles. The Scotch doubles, I just find a lot of fun. And then I tend to play in Albury because I think that's on like a bit after Geelong or something. I'm not sure, or is on a bit before. I don't know. Albury's in there, and I kind of play it because I feel like I've been hitting balls for like these other tournaments, and so I tend to play in Albury because I've been playing. So sort of, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like February, March, April, there's always things on like the Anzac tournament and stuff. It just feels like the first third of the year is a good time to be hitting a good ball. So I sort of, around January, I want to sort of start getting on the practice table a little bit and give myself the best chance.
I'll just add a note in there. I did make a commitment on a comment on a Facebook post, but I will do this, so I'll commit to it publicly on the pod as well. Because there's lots of kind of announcements coming around about dates, I'm going to consolidate all of them and put them together somewhere publicly. I'll put another post on the 8Ball FM Facebook page to let everyone know, and I will actually put that into a calendar file for anyone who's kind of technically following along, so that if you have a calendar that you use to plan your work or whatever, you can kind of import all of the 8-ball events and kind of see them throughout the year in a calendar file format, as well as just kind of, dates on a page. So I'll get that done sometime in the next week or two and put it out for everyone so they can see, whatever we know about the year coming ahead. Jamie, what about you? Do you plan your year out in January with 8-ball events, or have you done that in the past?
Hell no. Oh, well, maybe in the past. The last 5 years, let's be fair. In the last 2 or 3 years, I really haven't played much at all. The only thing I plan to play for at the moment is actually the black ball event. Really, it's a bit of a selfish reason. Is you never know where the world titles are going to be for that. And some of the countries, it's a good trip away, as well as you kind of use it as a vessel to have a holiday. So otherwise, you just wouldn't do it. So for me, pool is a great way to team it up with a holiday, and then that way you actually go somewhere. Otherwise, I just wouldn't do anything. So, in the past, I'd just go off to whatever it is, do nothing, and then come home. But Melissa's got me more in the mindset now of, if you're going to go somewhere, you might as well do some stuff. So, tend to stay an extra week now and do that. So, as far as events in Australia, though, I pretty much, if I'm available, then, I'll go, yeah, okay, I'll play in that. So Geelong this year I'm playing in. I haven't been able to play in Geelong for a number of years now, just obviously due to commitments of my son. So I don't really like taking him along to pool events, so I'd rather just miss out. Berry is one I plan on going to again this year. I've had the last couple of years off that. I'd like to go to Berry again. I really enjoy that tournament. Not just the comp itself, but it's, yeah, well, I mean, I guess that's a bit of a soft thing too. It's one of the few things I have actually won, but it's more, it's not that. It's more a case of, it's a good social event as well. You catch up with a lot of people you don't really see for, pretty much all year, unless you go away to nationals. So, for me, that's a good event. Albury, I'm unlikely to go to.
Shouldn't you be practicing? Shouldn't you be practicing a lot now, considering you're the gatekeeper and you're representing all of us?
Well, I don't know. I look at it as if I don't need to practice and I'm still the gatekeeper. No, but I look. No, I'm kidding. As I said, I put a lot of time in for that match. I haven't touched the table since, but I will put time in starting next week for the Geelong comp. And then, that'll just follow into the March match as well. So, but as far as putting time in, year round and really hard, I'm not that guy anymore. Unfortunately, I put in some solo practice, and after about 15 minutes, I'm just in so much pain. Just unfortunately, it's having such an impact on my shoulders now, and I don't really know what the reason for that is. But if I play in a match where it's someone else, where you're alternating, you're taking turn, it's not an issue. But if I do a lot of solo practice, I just feel that pain onset quite quickly. So I have to do it in spurts, like 15-minute spurts. I'll do 15 minutes and then I'll jump off for 20, jump back on for 15. But yeah, these days I just do the things that I feel like I need to do to be cueing the ball well, more than anything.
It's the burden of being the gatekeeper that you have to bear upon your shoulders, Jamie. That's
no, I like it. I love it. I just say, if you want it, come get it. There's plenty of guys out there who want to make the stateside. Most of these guys that are playing all these money matches these days, they're looking to play the best. And I've never been that guy. I like money. All you Muppets, come at me. Come get me. Come show me that you're good enough to make the stateside, and I'll take your money off you, and then you can play me again, and I'll take your money again until you're good enough to make the stateside, and then you'll get the key. I'll give you the key. It's all yours. That's how we're doing it from now. That's how we roll. And, I'll even play people in order of shitness. So if you're a really good player and you haven't made the stateside before, but I think you're a very good player and you could beat me, well, then you'll go to the back of the pile. I'm going to play the people in order of shitness. So, that's it. Let me get myself a 200K bankroll and then I'll play you.
Love it.
Do it the smart way, not the Alex Pace way.
And Mick, thanks for gracing us with your presence, mate. I hope you've had a good day out. Good to see you.
It's been amazing.
Happy New Year as well. This is our first recording for the year, so
You
happy
too.
New Year to you. Yeah, so it is the new year. So let me throw the question to you. Like, do you maybe you've done this in the past, or maybe you still do? Do you think about the year ahead and what's coming? You're planning on your calendar?
Because I've got other hobbies. Obviously, got to speak to the wife and make sure that I'm allowed to play in a couple at least. So I'd like to play in obviously Geelong, and I used to play in Albury, but at the moment I've really got to pick and choose maybe a couple a year. So it's going to be like maybe Geelong and maybe one other throughout the year, possibly, because obviously I've got other hobbies as well, like fishing. I'm about to go away for 10 days to do some game fishing, marlin fishing up at Bermagui, and that's at the start of Feb. So I've got other things that I'm doing also. And it'd be a bit selfish for me to obviously play in a lot of tournaments as well. So unless I was guaranteed to win them all and then come home and just give the wife all the money, then I can't really do that. So, but yeah,
Why not?
I'm
Mick?
sort of like the others. If I can actually, if I can actually play in them, if the stars align, then I will. But I'll make it up as I go. Like the state singles, yeah, I'll play in that. State doubles, unfortunately, I stuffed up there and booked the holiday. I didn't realize the doubles was on so early, so I do apologise to Marc for that. We can't try and either come runner up or make a final out of the last 10 and 11 years. Who knows what's going to happen there? But he's got a partner, Gussie. Gussie will hold his hand this year for a year, and then hopefully I can slide back on in.
Good thing about Gussie, he'll do what he's told.
Yeah, he'll never push back, Gus. Just
Actually, I didn't tell you who I'm playing with in the doubles.
Who are you
Marty,
playing with?
not
Jamie?
McCartney.
Martin?
Oh, you're glad it's not McCartney, I'm sure. No,
Marty.
no, I'm actually playing with. No, it's in the
Harris?
Masters though, so you guys don't have to stress. No, I'm actually playing with. I was actually going to be originally Brian Daly, but unfortunately Brian's had to withdraw. But I'm actually playing with Paul Clack, who I've never actually played doubles with before.
Wow, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, so that could be fun.
That's actually pretty cool.
There's
we've been good mates for a really long time. We pretty much grew up playing pool together, and now we're going to play some doubles in the Masters. So yeah,
Like he doesn't know how to pull up though. He's
I'll
pull him up.
he's straightforward with everything.
I'll pull him up.
You guys,
don't worry about that.
Can you play in the Open and the Masters? Like you play
They're on
both?
at the same time, which I think is a ridiculous decision. Just ridiculous.
cannot.
decision.
Why?
You must
Why limit? Why limit the amount of?
yeah.
I'm wondering if they actually do the team tryouts like that as well. That would actually make my blood boil. There's probably about 6 or 7 players in the Masters that could make the Open state.
Yeah. And you and Paul could win the Open and the Masters. And why would they limit the player base for that? Why?
I'm sure there's a good reason for it.
I'm sure there's
So
not.
let me ask a bit of advice from you all, because you might remember on a previous episode I talked about trying out for the state team this year. Now I've got other hobbies as well, and one of my problems is now that I've seen the dates. One of the hobbies that I took up since I stopped playing pool and now I've come back. One of the hobbies that I took up was I go snow skiing every year with my family. The playoff in the last 20 is on the school holidays in winter when we go snow skiing. So I would have to kind of.
I'll answer that for you, Marty.
Come back. Now, hang on. I haven't finished. Now, also, I turn 50 in April, so I can't play in the Masters doubles. I can't play in the Masters singles because they're earlier. The Masters singles is in March, but the Masters teams is in May, and I will be 50 by then. So I could play in the Masters teams instead of the Open teams, and I wouldn't have the clash. I know I can do both, but I would have to kind of give up one of my other hobbies to kind of play in the Open.
So which one can't you play in, the Open or the Masters?
The Open. I can. I need to get permission from my wife, and I'd have to play in the Masters, the family, because I'd be away. Yeah. Mick,
I wonder at what
point.
I plan on making both teams.
I wonder at what tipping point the Masters is going to be harder to make than the Open team.
I think it's getting there. If Butters plays, I play, Clacky plays. It's getting difficult already.
Yeah.
Can that side
there's
beat
less
the
spots.
current stateside that we have at the moment? Like it's getting to that point where the older gen are moving up, and then the newer gen are coming in, and
The old gen, the senior gen.
I'll put it to you this way. I think that there is a potential for the Masters team, if all these people play, to be the strongest Masters side that's ever gone away. Potential.
Yeah.
Well, you got all you young bucks who have
the
just
funny part
keep
is
playing.
Give it another 8 years or so, and it'll get even more ridiculous. Because all these guys will be 50
I'll be
then.
there in 5 or 6 years. 6 years, I'll be there.
And there's a whole bunch of yous.
Yeah.
There's stacks of yous. Imagine if Benny comes back and plays.
I think
so. Going back to what you said before, Marty, if your goal this year was to make a stateside, then give yourself no excuses just for this year. I'm sure the family will understand. I'm sure you can maybe book another trip somewhere around that, maybe. But if you've given yourself a goal, don't make it this one weekend, this one thing that will basically be, I didn't make it because I didn't do this or whatever. But you've given yourself a goal. You've been doing a little bit of practice, and give yourself that. If you're serious, give yourself that goal, and that way you can see where you're at. It doesn't mean you have to do it again next year, but at least give yourself. A lot of people don't actually give themselves the whole 12 months or the whole, whatever it is. They don't give themselves that. They actually find ways to sabotage it or pull out or for whatever. So if you're going to do something, do it. And that way you can learn from it and work. Whether you make it or not, you can, decide next year, okay, I'll do this, or maybe I should do this better, or maybe you'll make it this year and go, okay, cool. I can work on this and I'll do ski next year because it doesn't really matter. But I think you got to make a decision.
Was the goal open or any stateside?
The goal was open, yeah. And to I'll paraphrase a little bit. Like I was kind of giving myself a goal of getting back to a state team level. That could have been over a couple of years. So I'd be, but so if I didn't make it this year, I'd probably try again next year. But I think
it's too long.
I'll take your advice, Mick, and just say I'll enter both events. And if I make the top 20 of the open singles, then I've just got a tough decision to face. But I don't need to make that decision now. I can enter the event.
Yeah.
The other thing too is you could make the Masters side before the top 20 gets played. So you would actually then be able to pull out.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the calendar and the implications of those things. Yeah.
If they keep the calendar how they used to, wild card to the 20. Never haven't played since Nam. Get a wild card to the 20.
Those wild cards are overrated.
I might try and get a wild card into the stateside. Actually,
yeah, why not? Give it a go.
Hey Marty, I've got a good solution for you.
Let's finish.
I've got a good solution. Just buy the mountain, and then you can go whenever you want.
What if here's another solution. What if I get into the stake team by winning the singles? How about that?
Making the final, yeah. Well, you can.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
Then I don't have to worry about the top 20.
The thing is, you make it through your round robin, fine. You're a good chance to do that. And then with an okay draw, you might only have to play one or two good players, and you're in the final.
New gen players.
Before you know it, you get a good win against someone like a Tem in a quarters, and then you come up against, I don't want to name players, but you can play an intermediate player in the semis, and then boom, smash them. You're in the final.
I don't think I've ever missed the top 20 in a year that I've tried.
I don't think that'll change.
No, yeah.
The way the entries are going these days, it goes straight to the top 20.
It's just 20 people. You play a round robin. It's just one round robin. All right, let's finish off with some predictions. So I want to do some big predictions for 2026. I put some of these in the chat.
Predictions?
So we're going to do some predictions for 2026, things that we think are going to happen. So I'm going to ask you some questions. You might not have seen these, Mick, so you'll be on the spot a little bit. I'll let you go last. All right, I'll go around the horn and you can come in last. Marc, you're going to be up first, and I'm going to go to Jamie, then Mick. Question number 1. Will Rusty and Justin play in the national singles in 2026? Both 3-time champions. looking to be out on top with number 4. Will they play in the national singles?
Rusty, it's in Queensland,
Marc.
isn't it? It's in Queensland, isn't
It
it?
is in Queensland.
Gold Coast.
Rusty will play. He'll just want to go for number 4 and defend his title, and it's in Queensland, so it's all fair enough. Will Rusty play more than 50% of the frames in the teams event? No. Will Justin play? Yeah. Justin's had a year off. He'll be back, and he'll want to stop Rusty from winning 4.
Knowing that Rusty's going to play? Yeah. Okay. Jamie?
Justin is more likely to play if Rusty plays.
I think it's got nothing to do with Rusty personally. I think Rusty will play just because it's there. I think the decision on the Olympics that happens mid-year for Heyball will be the decision on whether Justin plays or not. Justin is a money follower. He's following where the money is. And at the moment, that's Heyball. So he will continue to play Heyball and turn up to these major tournaments, but to commit over a week for nationals when he has openly said that the prize money is terrible, I don't think he'll play. If Heyball
and let me just
gets
paraphrase.
canned,
I don't know if you intended for that to sound negative at all, Jamie, but let me say it a different way. Justin's a professional Q Sports athlete. So he's doing this to make a living as well. So he's
it wasn't
following
negative.
money because he's following money because that's his profession, right? Like he's got to go and make some money. So if there's no money in the 8-ball singles, and there is money in another tournament, he'll be somewhere else potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't negative at all, but he has voiced his opinion in the past about how the prize money for the singles has never gone up, and in fact, I think may have even gone down since
it's down. It's worth less now than it was years ago.
Yeah. So, and that doesn't make much sense, really, does it? So, I think that's sort of one of the reasons he didn't play this year. Because he plays in a lot of events, but I think now his focus is on Heyball. I think he realizes that he can generate more income from that, and if the Olympics is a goal of his and it goes through mid-year when the decision is made, then I don't think you'll see him play at nationals, unless he needs to do it for some kind of, I don't know, appearance for, media for Olympics or whatever it may be. Because I think it's fair to say that if it does happen, he probably will be one of those players, unless they do some kind of tryouts where he misses out or whatever. But for me, they've got to use some kind of rankings and commitment to the day or whatever. So I think he's a no, personally.
As soon as
Mick?
as soon as we won the world title, there's a lot of these guys that just aren't playing anymore. So to make Australian teams isn't a pathway to get to the world titles anymore because they're just not interested in it.
Mick, what do you reckon?
Nah, he won't. I don't even think he'll be there. I think he's got other things on his plate, so I don't think they'll meet. If he does play and Rusty plays and none of us play, there's a good chance, yes, they could meet. But no, I don't think he'll be there. I think he's got a lot of other things on his plate. And let's be honest, it's a lot of money to go away for 10, 11, 12, 13 days, time off work. We've all done it multiple times, and it's a lot of money. He probably prefers to go away like what we all do and maybe play in a comp that can make a lot of money. So, I'd say no.
Do you know who the more interesting person to ask the question about is Jake. Jake doesn't look like he's ever going to play in a state team ever again. He hasn't played for a few years now. He hasn't really shown indication he's coming back, but he does like the Gold Coast. So it would be and also this big event that there's supposed to be happening. I don't really know the details of it anymore. This, extravaganza or whatever, which could include Heyball. It
That
could,
puts me off a little bit, actually.
he could think to himself, well, I'm going to be up there anyway, so I might as well try out for the stateside. And he hasn't won an Australian title. That's the only thing missing from his belt.
He doesn't see the current nationals Australian titles.
Yes, but this year could be different because we could see some very strong competition this year.
If the field's
There's
strong,
potential that SA do not send the side they sent last year. Victoria is more likely to have stronger players. WA, I think, will probably be the same. So really, it's SA and Victoria I'm talking about. But I wouldn't surprise me if it all joins together and everything's up there at once, and there's some kind of Chinese 8-ball event up there, that Jake just thinks, well, I'm going to be up there anyway, I might as well try out. I think he's an interesting one.
This is my one caveat to the question. So I think Rusty will play because it's local. The one caveat about whether Justin plays is, does the extravaganza go ahead? And if indeed it does go ahead, it's not like they're literally in the same venue and you are allowed to play in multiple events. And I'm not sure on what the restrictions will be for entering the open singles. So will Justin be allowed, or Jake or whoever, be allowed to play in the open singles without qualifying for their state team? If that is possible, then absolutely Justin will play. If it's not, if he must play in the team to be able to enter in the singles, then he won't.
I think each state gets to nominate a couple anyway, even if
They do, Mick, you're right. The home state gets more nominations, but every state gets a couple of extra wild cards.
Yeah. So you don't even have to play in a state team. Like, I've thought about that too, not even playing, and this is not this time, but this is previously, and just going up and playing nationals just in the singles. But what they've done is they've scattered the singles throughout the whole event. So you've actually got to stay up there for the whole time anyway. So it's pointless. You might as well go up there and play in the teams as well.
Yeah, in which case, if the home states can nominate players, like Victoria would be crazy not to nominate Jake. And I think Justin would get nominated as well. So I think there's potential they could play in the open singles and in the Heyball. If the extravaganza goes ahead. If it doesn't, then I think all bets are off.
Ooh.
Right, that was actually an interesting one. That was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Right, which team will win the Open National title this year? Mark.
Next year, South Australia.
This year.
Oh, this year, probably South Australia. I reckon they're going to be
traitorous
filthy.
scum.
I reckon they're going to be filthy about finishing last, and they're going to put in some stupid strong team. That's my thoughts.
Jamie, you put the big V up on screen.
Yeah, I had to support my own state, didn't I? Not like this traitorous scum to my left.
You'd be an awful person if you didn't.
No, look, I think you make a good point, though. I know Jaden was very vocal about they might put in one more big year before a lot of these guys turn to Heyball. But Victoria, I think Victoria at the moment has more depth than South Australia. So I don't know. It just depends on who tries out for each state. I think I think from a pride perspective, South Australia has to be the pick. Finishing last is not ever on that state's radar, and for it to happen as a state, obviously not singling people out, but as a state is actually embarrassing for them given their record. So if that's not a kick in the pants to get things happening, nothing is. So yeah, we'll go with SA. Unless
Mick,
we're all there playing and then they lose to Victoria.
Mick, what's your call?
I'm going to say Queensland in their home state. I reckon they're going to have a stronger side than what they had. So I'm going to go Queensland, but if they don't win it, then I think go Vics. But yeah, I'm going to say Queensland just because.
Yeah, that was going to be my contrarian pick as well. I think it's when it's in your home state, you tend to get a stronger field tryout for your team. I'm sure. Like I actually don't know the depth of players that they've got that didn't play last year, but I'm sure that they can field a stronger team. They'll have more people try it. They'll get a stronger team because it's in their home state. It's cheaper for them to go away. It's local for many of the people.
You do realise Rockhampton is Queensland, right, Marty?
Well,
right. So let's just say they have a side similar to this year, maybe slightly stronger.
It's much closer to the big cities, though. It's still a pretty big trip away, though, right? For a lot of the people, they're not living up in Rockhampton.
I don't think SA will put together a super side. I think a few of their players will come back. Same with Victoria as well. I don't think they're going to send away a much stronger side than what they had already. So I think that time has come. And with this 8-ball extravaganza thing, it's actually it's meant to be a good thing, but I think it's actually putting me off wanting to actually play and just go up there and concentrate on nationals. If you've got Heyball, you've got black ball and white ball and yellow ball and all these things coming together, and there's all these tournaments going on, you can actually be a bit confused. And are you going to have time to practice, and how well is it going to be run? I think Travis and Mal and all that over the last several years running nationals, they've done a great job. The schedules, the timing, everything was just like it was Mickey Mouse, just like the King's Cup. The ACT boys, they used technology, and everything was just run to a T. You had your phone and messages on there saying when you're up, and everything up on the screens, and it was all really well run. But with this 8-ball extravaganza thing, I hope it's going to be well run, but it's a little bit up in the air at the moment. So I don't know where that stands, and I don't know. Like, I've always wanted to go to Queensland, even take the family, but there's a good chance that I'd probably give it a miss.
I guess the thing is we don't know exactly what this extravaganza entails. So we don't know how the format's going to be or anything like that. But the bigger picture of it, and the reason it's all happening is the attempt to amalgamate all the codes under one body. That's the reason for it. So
and they should put that out on social media and actually make it a little bit more known, rather than just get everyone.
It's still a while
guessing,
off. They haven't got to that yet.
time.
I think they're still trying to finalise things before they publicly announce things. So I think you'll find that as time moves on, announcements will be made, and this amalgamation hasn't been completed yet, if at all. So it's a long way to go yet. I understand what they're trying to do. Whether they pull it off and it works or not remains to be seen. I personally hope it works out amazingly. Imagine if there was something like this every year and you just could play in all the events. You'd say, well, I want to choose Chinese 8-ball as my primary thing that I want to win, and then obviously you can't practice for every single code on different styles of tables, but you can choose a primary one and then just know that you'll adapt better to the other ones.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Like, it could be awesome. So I don't know until that happens, and I guess we'll find out. Maybe it's the best thing ever. I guess we'll find out if and when it happens.
All right. Couple more to go. Will a next-gen player make the final, so just last two, of a major event? And if so, which player is the most likely to be? Robbo?
Well, Sean Dempsey is making finals and winning. What do you mean by major? Like a Geelong, Albury, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, something with like 10. Is 10,000 prize money big enough these days for total pool? Maybe 15,000 prize money, like a $5,000 plus check for the winner. That kind of number.
Albury,
$5,000 plus. There's not many of them.
Well, that's Geelong out as well.
Yeah,
is it?
They're all
and
out.
the national.
Yeah.
Marty, when you were
still
playing,
consider.
When you were playing 20 years ago, Marty, the prize money was like $2,500 to the winner. Well, that's still the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to say, maybe it's still the same. I used to think that if a tournament had a $10,000 prize pot for the whole event, that I would call that a major. And there was kind of half a dozen of them around. So yeah, like a Geelong, a Berry, an Anzac Day. Obviously the big ones, the national singles, Slate, Gippy Pro Cup, Anzac. What have I missed? One of those events, King's Cup,
Killer Crossover,
and any one of them.
Probably
Empire.
I'm trying to think of someone who hasn't made one yet. I was going to say Jack Green, but he made the final of Albury.
No, it doesn't matter. It's just a new gen player this year.
Oh, all right. Well, I think Sean Dempsey is the standout, absolute standout. I'd almost have like there's probably an even money bet that he makes the final.
That's good. That's the kind of
I'm going to
prediction we're
break
looking
it
for.
down. I'm going to break it down into two tiers. I think that's what the majors are these days. So I think Albury is extremely watered down tournament that is a very weak field in comparison to other fields.
Not bloody
so,
last.
Yes, absolutely, a new gen player. Most of the years it is.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about all these $10,000 comps now. The interstaters just don't travel for them anymore. So they're not like they used to be. However, I'm going to say yes, a new gen player could make a final in a Geelong and Albury, something like that, but no chance in a killer crossover, a King's Cup, a Slate Pro, your tier 2 events now, the big money ones where all the top players come over for. So that's how I'm going to categorize it.
Well, that's not the question.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Will they?
Yes to the tier 2 majors and no to the tier 1 majors.
Fair enough. Yeah. I have got a question about the tier 1 majors. By the way, just for reference, I think there are 3. I'm calling out 3 big events. So I might even go another layer that on top of you there, Jamie. The 3 big events I think are the Australian singles, the Slate Pro event, and now the Gippy Cup Pro event.
Well, the killer crossover and
I don't know
the
how many
King's
players are
Cup,
going to go to the Gippy Pro.
the killer crossover and the King's Cup are harder to win than the Australian title. 100%.
At the moment, yes.
The only reason
Yes.
I put the Australian title in there is because every state sends players there. There is people coming from every state to that event. So even though the fields
Can a
might
new
be
gen player win it?
deeper. No, that I'm just saying that's what I think of as the big 3 in the country. Slate and Gippy Cup Pro event, just because the pots are so big. And I've got a question later about who do we think is going to win them. But
I think Killer Crossover and King's Cup have easily deserved the right to be. Call it a big 5, Marty. Can you include those 2 because they're fantastically ran tournaments and extremely hard to win?
I'm happy to, and I think they're very good. I think the same was also true of Berry for a long time, but the prize pots are just not as big. That's all.
The thing is with the Killer Crossover and the King's Cup, you've got to beat at least 2 world-class players, and then you're still going to at least have to beat at least 2 or 3 other very, very good players.
Longer races too.
They're races to like 8s and 9s and stuff. You are never going to get a fluke result at the King's Cup or the Killer Crossover. It's too hard.
Yeah,
I'm
going to say, I was going to say Sean Dempsey, I think is one of those guys that could as well. But if it wasn't him, if I had to choose someone else because you already chose him, someone like a Josh Gorski, he's obviously been in Q Sports a long time. He's actually put a lot of time in 8-ball as well over the last 5-8 years, maybe. Like he plays in everything. He's definitely got the skills to knock in balls from anywhere, and he's getting smarter with the game of 8-ball as well. So if anyone were to bob up and win Geelong in a month from now or whenever it is, and then you said it was Josh Gorski, it wouldn't be like, oh wow, like that shouldn't have happened. It would be like, yeah, you know what, he could. So I think someone like Josh could be one of those players.
Do not forget Daniel Porter won Joy Bell Cup last year too. Very young player. Beat Jake in the semis or the quarters as well. So he didn't just breeze through with an easy draw.
Yeah, right. I mean, I think for me, definitely one of them can make a final. I think Sean Dempsey's the obvious standout. I don't even know who else I would pick. Like, I think Sean's the most likely to kind of bust through to be categorized amongst the elite in Australia for me. Yeah. All right, let me switch codes on you. Who will win the World Snooker Championship?
I'm just going to say Neil. He's number 1 on the 1-year list. I think it would be ridiculous for him to only win 1 world title by the time he retires. And it may sound funny, but he's almost like he's due. It's been a long time.
Yeah, he said that exact same thing last year as well, I'll just say. So I'm going to not go with
How many
Neil
others
for
have
that
won
reason.
multiple world titles?
Lots.
Well,
Yeah.
like 8,
Well, Trump's
12.
won 1.
Oh, it depends how far back you want to go.
Yeah, it depends on how far back you want to go. But like to be in the category of like
Old Jen.
Williams, Higgins, O'Sullivan, Hendry, those guys, I probably class Neil like that one from probably like Hendry Henry onwards. That's probably when
You got to include Davis in there.
if
Steve
you looked
Davis
at the
is-
Steve Davis is
The
amazing.
field wasn't as strong, I know.
Yeah, but who did he play? That's the
Yeah, but Steve, I mean, Henry played Jimmy White a million times. So we could debate about this forever. So who do I think will win? It's so hard. It's so hard right now to go past a Chinese player because they're all getting so good. And there's another year. Well, hang on, and when is the world titles on? It's
May.
at least 6 months, yeah? May. Okay, so 5 months. John Higgins is in good form. He was good last year. Elby seems to be hitting form again. I don't know whether he's given it a red hot crack again. I love watching Sean Murphy play because I think he's just got the greatest queuing action that's ever been seen. So I'm a bit favoured to him. Picking one, though, is so hard. I'm going to say John Higgins. I think he's as good a chance as any of the people I just named. And you're going to get your bang for buck out of him because he's a fighter.
Yeah, interesting. I'm going to put a pick out there. I hasn't won it for a while, but I think he's coming back into good form. And if he peaks, I think he's a very strong favourite. And that's Selby. I think he might come back and start to put himself amongst the absolute goats of the game and chase down the big numbers of world championships. So that's for me. Scary. Any thoughts?
Murphy. Sean Murphy, I think.
Right, and I want to ask, pick a player that you think you can just name one. You can try and pick three if you like, but like those three events that I talked about before, the national singles, the Slate Pro event, the Gippy Cup Pro event. What was the other two you named, Mark? The Killer Crossover and the King's Cup.
King's Cup.
Let's say five. Like pick a player who you think's going to win one or more of those events.
Well, you can't go past Jake because he plays in everything, or Justin, I guess. Guys like you got Jake, Justin, Tem. Those are the top three that come to mind that play in all these tournaments that I see. Robbo plays in a few. I think long distance. I think the Killer Crossover in the King's Cup. I think he's definitely one of the ones to watch out with the longer races. So there's four. And 5, Rusty, I think. Rusty's been bobbing up and playing in a couple, so that's 5.
If I was to pick 5, that would be the 5 I'd pick as well. But
I
think
all old gen.
Yeah, I think Jake will win more than one. He is the most winningest player in the country, and I don't know what it is about him, but he's just winning these tournaments a lot.
Well, he gets to
be frustrating.
Play in them. He gets to play in all of them too, as well.
Yeah, but Justin does too. Rusty plays in all those 5 events. He plays in all of them as well. Most of the top players do play in all 5. Not all of them, but at least 3. But for some reason, it's got to be frustrating people by now. He wins a lot of them.
I think if you looked at
he has to be stopped. I think
if you look at the records, I think Justin has a much better win record than Jake. Of all those tournaments that we've spoke about, Justin's won 3 Australian singles, Jake's won none. Killer Crossover, Justin's won it at least 2 or 3.
Just the 5, yeah.
The King's Cup, I think he's won that like 5 times or something. And then the Gippy Cup and the Slate Pro. Well, Jake's made the final. Justin lost in the last 16, and the Gippy Cup's the first tournament. So I think if you actually look at it, I think Justin has by a mile the best record out of anyone.
In those 5, yeah, I agree with that.
Justin doesn't play in the other tournament.
What other tournament?
Like he doesn't play in, I think Justin's played in Geelong maybe once or something. He doesn't go to Berry. Those tournaments, like he doesn't travel for the short distance tournaments.
Well, he's playing Geelong this year.
Yeah. Jake's record in the short distance tournaments is unreal. He so rarely is not in the last 8. It's just
I think that's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah.
Yeah. When people call them chook raffles, it's like, well, Jake's he averages, a semi-finals or better. Like it's crazy.
And do you think a lot of that's got to do with obviously factor as well? factor is a big part of obviously winning and losing matches, but he gets given, and he deserves his factor as well from what he's done. So I think his factor is like glowing when he's at the table. Like his opponents do like seem to crumble or can't get over the winning
early
line
round matches
a fair bit too. But he definitely gets his chances and he takes them. And he's definitely, as you said, a short race player. Phenomenal.
I think in some early rounds where he might play against, a lesser player, because we've all been there where, they're about to beat you 3-2 and then they miss the easy black and you win the match. He gets a lot of them.
Yeah.
But I think against the top liners, I don't think that factor's there anymore. I don't think it ever was there, really. Not against the top players. They all know they can beat each other.
Yeah, I think when it gets to around the last 16, you expect to play hard players. Obviously, Jake is probably the hardest category. But when I see like him play against a high quality player in a quarterfinals, and when he wins, generally it's because he's outplayed them. It's not huge twitch factor.
Mark, you said you were going to name 5 individual winners. Do you want to reel off your 5?
It's very hard to go past Justin and Jake. Those two stand out to me very quickly. I'll go the other players that sort of come to mind, like Tem stands out. I think Kurt is a good big tournament player. I'm going to throw myself in there. I think I'm going to do well this year. And I think Rusty is very dangerous in these tournaments too.
So same like 5 plus Kurt.
Yeah, I Kurt's dangerous.
And one more name from me, and that's Joel. I think I'm going to put Joel's name in the mix. Won't surprise me. I don't know if he goes in all of them. I don't think he can win Slate because it's at his venue, right? So he's going to be distracted. It's going to be very difficult for him to win that because he's got so much else going on at the same time. So it's probably going to be one of the other ones.
Yeah, I'll also be interested to see if they come back because they did make a bit of an appearance last year, and that's Ron Kelly. I don't know whether he plans on playing in these big events, but he's certainly capable of doing damage.
Absolutely.
It'll be great to see you back out there, Ron. Yeah. And just one final question. Just any crazy predictions from anyone on any Q sport, if you like. I'm going to give you one just to kick us off, and that is I think at least one of the class of 92 will announce their retirement this year from snooker, I should say. So one of Ronnie, Mark Williams, or John Higgins will announce their retirement, where they actually, like an obvious place to retire would be after the World Championships, but they might say, I'm going to, by the end of the year, they'll say, I'm going to retire at next year's World Championships or something. So just announce is all I'm saying, but that will happen this calendar year. It's my prediction.
I think Mark Williams is the pick of those 3 for that.
So I feel like Ronnie is. I feel like Mark Williams will be the last one. I feel like he'll just keep going.
Really?
I think Williams will be the last one. Yeah, Mark, because Mark's actually had more success this year than the other 2. I think Ronnie's getting tempted by Chinese 8-ball. He's doing a lot of stuff out there in the media about Chinese 8-ball. He's obviously got some big sponsorship deals going on. Played that big exhibition match.
He's also got a lot of ties in Abu Dhabi at the moment as well, though.
Anyway, anyone else got a big prediction for the year?
I think the biggest increase in the snooker rankings will be Chang Bingyu. I think he will be the one that goes up the rankings the most.
All right, I'm going to find out where he is.
He just played a final recently and actually played horrible. Got destroyed by I can't remember who it was. Got absolutely annihilated, but it was his first ranking final. But he's only just come back in. He just got back on the tour this year or last year.
Well, I'll give you some stats. So we've got this baseline for the start of the year. Chang Bingyu is currently ranked number 62 in the world, but has already made 1 ranking final and 147. So there you go. We'll see how that goes by the end of the year. 62, and you reckon he's going to go up?
Yep, he'll go up, and I think Mark Williams or Ronnie if this Chinese 8-ball focus stays. Don't forget Mark Williams is quite Chinese 8-ball friendly as well. I think Mark Williams will slide down the rankings. I disagree. I think he's more likely to retire. Don't forget, he just disappeared for a while down the rankings. He just decided online poker was better for him for that period of time. He just lost his way and then came back. I think it's very possible he might slide back down the rankings. Either him or Stuart Bingham, because he's got issues with his eyes.
Here's a prediction. I'm going to win Geelong. You've heard it here. I'm either going to come first or third.
All right.
Well, thank you, gents. Great prediction there to finish this off from Mick. Appreciate your time.
See you soon.
Ciao.
Thanks, buddy.
See you, boys. Bye.